Morning. Start with flag salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got a full house today. We got a nice crowd here today. Very good. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's March 23rd, 2023. And on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. On my left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3. We have Jim Crowell, our county attorney, on my far right, and on my far left. Tony, they threw me. I thought it was Madam Clerk today. Well, thank you.
Stephanie, great to see you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Anyway, Stephanie, what's first on the agenda?
1A, proclamations and presentations.
Okay.
Presentation from TARC regarding of the 2022 Winter Wonderland event results.
Good morning, Riley Schaefer, Parks and Recreation. I have Sherry Lunger here from TARC. She's going to do a short presentation about how the year went. I must say it's always a joy working with Sherry, and this might be her last Winter Wonderland coming up. I'm not sure yet, but I'll let her explain that.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. As Riley indicated, I wasn't supposed to be here again this year. I retired July 1st, but the replacement didn't work out, and so I came back in the beginning of October and got him through Winter Wonderland and beyond. So, but I would like to just give you a quick rundown and thank you very, very much for allowing us to continue Winter Wonderland. And it is our largest fundraiser. So it was the 25th Winter Wonderland. We had a partner with the Prairie Glass Studios, and they did ornaments for our 25th that were, the theme was penguins. And we had another partnership with H&H Designs, which is a shirt company in Fairlawn Plaza, fairly new, and they were fabulous to work with. And the 5K with Sunflower State Games was a big success again and will continue. And we have a wonderful partnership with them as well. And we had a lot of Evergy volunteers coming out. They did over 300 hours of volunteer work during setup. That was huge for us and for the county, for Riley and his crew to help us get that accomplished. And we honored Ron Gwaltney. Ron has been a big part of Winter Wonderland over the years, and he passed away before Winter Wonderland started this year unexpectedly. And he is the one who has always helped us design new displays and animate them. So we were a little bit stunned and unsure how we were going to go forward with all that, but we did manage, but he was missed. It was a hard year without him. And Ace Electric and Steve Jones, they were wonderful to help us out when we needed an additional piece of equipment and when we needed some help during the times when the crew wasn't available, like weekends and holidays. He came out and took care of things for us, and so we were very grateful to him. And we couldn't do it without the Parks and Rec folks. I can't say enough good about those guys. That crew is fabulous, and they help with everything imaginable and getting everything up and running, and they are just fabulous. And I can't say enough about how wonderful they are for us. And it was a great year. The net income was $203,558, and then we had an additional over $8,000 that came in as memorials for Ron that were credited that he had asked for Winter Wonderland. So, and that's not indicated in the $203,000. We had 8,987 vehicles that went through, and we're looking forward to 2023 for the 26th year. So I will be through setup with the new person. They have hired my replacement again. So maybe I can get retirement 2.0, we'll see. So she will be working, her name is Mandy Walter, and she will be working with me for a while, and I will work with her for the beginning of setup and through Winter Wonderland. So do you have any questions for me?
Any questions?
Sherry, can you just tell us, how did Winter Wonderland start? I mean, it's 25 years in the making.
what did it start as and how did we get to where we're at now? I mean, because now it's huge. We've got 5Ks, we've got the lighted part, we've got, just a lot that goes on.
Right.
How did it start?
Back in 1990, I think it was 97 or 98, there was a board member who went on a trip down in southeast Kansas and saw a display similar to this and said, this would be a great fundraiser for TARC, and brought it back, and they worked through the first year and a half trying to get it figured out and set up. So then the first year was like 10 displays that they leased. And I guess that was pretty much a disaster for the company that brought them in. They said it was going to be, they'd come in, set it up, we wouldn't have to, the county wouldn't, county and TARC wouldn't have to do anything, but that wasn't the case. There was a lot of work to be done. You could ask Randy Luby if you can ever find him. He has that knowledge. He has imparted that on me a few times. And so from there, they leased those for a couple of years and then decided to purchase. And so then they purchased those and bought those, and from there it has grown. And the Topeka Foundry and Iron Works and HME Metal Sales have been the big suppliers of displays for us, and they have done that in kind. So all of the new displays that you see, from the time I started in 2008, we have not purchased a display. They've all been made here locally with partnerships with those two entities. And so it has grown from there. And then we just add and change things up. We have a committee that meets monthly, and Riley is part of that committee. And we meet monthly, and the committee helps make some decisions and helps think about designs and things like that. And we just move down the road. And so then when I came to TARC, and my replacement, for those of you who don't know, I was the executive director of the Sunflower State Games for a few years. The gentleman who took my place there came up with the idea of doing a 5K in the winter and doing it with Winter Wonderland, and that has pursued, and he is not there any longer. There's somebody new, and it's still going to go on. So all those things just come along as ideas come up from the committee and from the community, and we just move forward. So 25 years later, we have way more than 10 displays, a lot more than 10 displays, and a lot of sponsorship. And without the sponsors and without you all, it wouldn't happen. And it is our largest fundraiser, and it does fill the gaps at TARC for the programs that we provide.
Sherry, Winter Wonderland wouldn't be the same without you, and I want to thank you for everything you've done over the years. And 25 years is a long time at any organization, so thank you for everything you've done for TARC and for the community and for Shawnee County.
Thank you so much. Y'all, it wouldn't be possible without you, and it'll be hard to walk away. So thank you.
Thank you for all your years there. Thank you. And thanks Parks and Recreation for all your help up there. Very good. Next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payment.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $2,713,392.50. Some of the highlights out of the voucher report: under building and maintenance, Stauffer Lawn and Landscaping for $18,632.97 is the new patio paver at Ted Ensley Gardens. Mary Crete LLC for $542.80 is for concrete work at the Gage Park Maintenance Building. Under Equipment Fund, McElroy's Incorporated for $10,573.65 is for the courthouse water heater replacement. Under Outdoor Adventures, Central Mechanical Construction Company Incorporated for $13,044.76 is for HVAC replacement at Shelter House Number 2. And finally, under Sewer District, City of Topeka, totaling $206,804.28 is for quarterly operation and maintenance of Sewer District 2, 6, 65, and Sherwood. I don't have any questions regarding the vouchers. Would move for their approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B1, Department Corrections, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-109-2023 with Alpha Media to provide recruitment plans at a cost of $15,060 for 3 months to be paid from the fiscal year 2023 detention budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just the continuation of an existing contract that we have worked with Alpha Media. We have seen good results as far as applications and hiring. We have done very well over the last several months. This has been a very successful partnership. I did meet with Angela a little bit regarding this, and that we still have the funds. And you know, even though that we are making some good strides at the jail for hiring and stuff, that I think we need to continue the momentum. This contract is cheaper than other similar contracts we've had. It has been approved by the County Counselor's Office for legality and form, and we do have the funds for this, and I would like to ask your permission to continue this contract and answer any questions you may have.
Any questions?
Have we seen results from the ads, and are we filling those positions at the Department of Corrections? Are we moving in the right direction?
Absolutely. We started out about a year and a half ago at 70 in operations. The other day, we're at 34. So we're moving in a great direction. We have about 10 to 15 in the process right now being hired. We have 2 more that are getting hired next week. So we're hiring every 2 weeks, and we're continuing to work with Washburn Tech and Washburn University on enhancing our training, our accreditation, our academy to credentialize and make it a lot more a lot better and to make it longer, so like this. So we think we are heading in the right direction. And I will say that the numbers on this have been right on as far as the clicks, meaning looking at our ads and following through and things like that.
So in the years past, a lot of employers have really appreciated Shawnee County for the work that you do, hiring and training, and then people are able to use the resources that we invest in our employees to go off to other positions. And was this something that you would continue to see in our industry as people get trained, and then, because opportunities are always available, and I mean, we like to see people stay with Shawnee County as long as possible, but we also want to promote people so that we have a good workforce.
Correct. You know, when you're looking in the field of law enforcement corrections, a lot of times they see corrections as a startup. You know, even for myself, I thought I'd be there 3 or 5 years. Okay, so I'm in my 34th year. A lot of people do use this as a stepping stone to go into probation, parole, even to law enforcement, you know, the police departments, the sheriff's offices, and things like that. With community corrections being back under the Department of Corrections, that has given us another opportunity to promote. We are seeing people stay longer at the jail and things like this. I will say that because of the accreditation and the level of standards that we do have, that the officers are there for 2 or 3 years. They are very marketable to others because they know they get trained and do a lot of stuff with report writing, working with a very challenging population and things like that. We know we're going to lose our fair share. I don't want to hold anybody back or anything like that, but we are starting to see people that are starting to recognize this as a career, and starting to see some of the others that have been there a long time working with our mentors and working with our field training officers and discussing the importance of staying there. Yeah.
And I guess this is one of the questions where I'm getting to is, we're never going to see recruitment end. We're always going to be recruiting because there's always going to be people that are going to be coming out so we're always going to need to have recruiting and keep our recruiting. We can't rest.
No, and that's the reason I know one time in my career we had every position filled. And then the day we announced it, we had 3 people that went on to somewhere else. So I don't say that anymore.
Hey, Brian, was that 35 years ago when they hired you?
Yeah, yes. So what I would say is you're absolutely right, sir, that just because we're seeing some momentum, it doesn't mean you stop. I think we have to keep doing as much as we can fiscally responsibly, you know, talking with Betty and talking with Angela on what we can and can't afford. This is something we're seeing good results, so I'm able to say, let's back away from this area, let's put some more money in this, and we would be very foolish if we stopped doing this.
Well, I don't like being foolish.
Yeah.
Mr. Mays?
Brian, who's doing the creation of the ads? Is
We
that
do
part of
them,
the-
and we work with them.
Okay.
We started this out with another company and created the ads. and then we just use those. So we have 4 officers have done testimonials, and so they do very good with that. And then we work with their digital team, Alpha Media and stuff like that, who have a very good team of working with us on how to do it on. We're now moving into YouTube. I assure you there won't be any foolish videos on there. But we'll have YouTube and we have Instagram. We have a lot of different social media, and they help us with that. And that has worked out pretty good, yeah. So they work with us, yeah.
Brian, did you see a good positive bump from the job fair that?
Absolutely. We ended up having, through their, I thought that was very good. We ended up having, not only did we have corrections specialists, but we even had custodian applications and interviews from that. And we, advertised all of our positions and stuff. I thought there was great networking amongst HR in all the departments, getting out and seeing what others were doing and appreciating the needs of other agencies. And, there were a few times when people came to us and said, oh, okay, we asked them what they were interested. We said, go over to that table and they can help you and things like that. So I thought it was very good, and I hope we continue. I hope we do that maybe 1 or twice a year, maybe in the spring and in the fall. I think it would be very beneficial.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian. Next.
Number 2, request approval to purchase 2 metal detectors to be used in the adult and juvenile detention center lobbies for security and contraband control for $12,014 to be paid from Department Fiscal Year 2023 Safety Equipment Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. We have had some ongoing issues with the metal detectors in both the front lobbies of the adult and the juvenile detention center. I worked very hard with Sergeant Wanamaker with the Sheriff's Office, knowing that they had purchased and worked very diligently, did a lot of great research in doing this stuff. So I worked with Betty and stuff like this to see if we could tag on to that and getting our bids and things like that to see, because a lot of the specs, we don't need the X-ray machine that they have and things like that. So one of the things you'll see attached with this was their bids that you have. And one of the things that I worked with Sergeant Wanamaker on this is that you'll see that the bid they had was one of the highest ones. Well, in talking to Sergeant Wanamaker, that was the only responsible vendor that responded to meet all the specs. And our specs are very similar to what that is of what the Sheriff's Office would want of people not coming in to the jail. And ours probably even a little higher as well, because you're going into a locked facility. These are the main entrances or the gates to the departments through the public, that these are, it would be very, I think, irresponsible for us not to have a minimum amount of security as far as metal detectors. We do have searches and things like that, but we did find out that these are very good quality, that the Sheriff's Office did a remarkably good, did a very good job of vetting this out. The funds that I would like to use, and I did meet with Betty on this and did talk with all of you a couple weeks ago regarding this, is that we did set up a fund for special equipment. And some people might think, well, okay, we talked about this and there'll be another request for tasers out of that. But one of the things is that we use this as part of our safety security equipment inside the facility for our CERT teams, for the reduction of contraband and things coming in to the facility. So I think it is in line with this, and we'd like to be able to use the money granted out of that. It's just, I think there was about 100-some thousand. This is only about 12 for 2 of them, and so we can afford it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And I do have Eve Kendall here that worked very diligently with everybody regarding that account.
So this is replacing 2
Yes,
that you have?
yeah. The 2 we have right now are not working at all.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I'll move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-110-2023 with Exxon Enterprises to purchase tasers and related equipment to replace late tasers that have reached end of life and are no longer supported. The $45,231.75 cost of this sole source purchase will be partially funded by the 2022 Burn Justice Assistant Grant Program Award and the remaining balance from the agency's security equipment fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eve Kendall, Department of Corrections. The county is good to their employees because I will be celebrating my 33rd year next month. So the county does have longevity in their employees, just so you know. I'm here for you to discuss the Axon Taser. Oh, that's not me, I'm sorry. I thought I was beeping. The taser purchase that we're requesting, we are trying to replace 17 tasers. They've reached end of life. This is just to replace them and the equipment that comes with them. I'll stand for any questions you might have.
Commissioner Mays.
So the ones that we're replacing, did they come from the same manufacturer?
Yes.
Do they give us any kind of a trade-in value on those?
We used them till they're almost dead, so no.
So what happens with them?
They,
Just throw them in the dumpster or?
well,
like-
no, we don't do that because something might happen there, but we do responsibly destroy them with the help of Axon, but they do not have any value for a trade-in.
Okay.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Eve. Next,
Item C, Register of Deeds, number 1, consider approval of payment of various items from the Land Records Fund in the amount of $113,000 and $113,828 for equipment and technological services relating to land property records.
Good morning, Commissioners. Becky Neosi, Register of Deeds. As you know, the Register of Deeds has a technology fund, and when there's excess funds available, they can be transferred to be used by other offices for technology, for property and land records. So we have a committee set up to review those. They have been reviewed, and most of these will be for 2024. That way, when they plan their budgets, they know, have that in mind. And we had 17 items, which was a very long list, but the committee went through them quickly and professionally, so I just want to thank them. And I'd stand for any questions you might have.
questions?
What are some of the uses we have from the land use records funds? I mean, how are we utilizing those funds? Or in the past or future projects, what are some of the uses we've seen from it?
GIS department uses a large amount of those, and those are used throughout the county. We have the planning department that requested laptops and workstations, IT department for a large scanner, just various items, and the committee makes sure they fit it within the statutory guidelines.
So these are funds that come in from people selling or buying real estate in Shawnee County?
Correct. When the document is recorded in my office, $2 per page is collected. Those are used for technology and equipment in my office. And when we have excess, they're transferred to that fund.
And this was created by statute about 9 years ago, when we changed from how records were recorded and the record fees.
Actually, it's been around since early 2000s. I'm
Okay.
not sure the exact date,
All right.
but the technology fund has.
Yeah, the technology funds, okay. Well, I know that we had a change in how records were recorded and the fees that were collected, but this is to
Correct.
offset not money that's coming from the general fund, so it's other funds that we're seeing. So,
Any other questions?
no,
I would move for approval.
second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Item D, Emergency Management 1, consider approval to issue a bid for a CIP 23 project to start upgrading the outdoor warning signs with solar panels.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dusty Nichols. Pretty self-explanatory. This is that next step in putting solar panels on 4 of our sirens, kind of a test base to see how it goes. The solar panels, we think, are going to be pretty beneficial. It doesn't restrict us to put our sirens near electric poles and so forth. So we're excited about getting this project started. Hopefully we can, with approval, get the bid going and have 4 of them in place by the end of the year.
Dusty, currently, we're using electricity, and this will
That's correct,
save that minimal cost.
Yeah, there's a certain, the specific fee for each meter, each month, and
So
then,
we'll eliminate that.
right,
That'll be good.
that's correct.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Dusty, we're coming into the spring storm season.
Mhm.
For the people that are watching, what's the state of our equipment that we have? I mean, are we all ready for the storm season?
I believe so. We test it weekly. If we have a problem, we either get we have guys that can fix it on staff, or we get the contractor in to fix those. Right now, I believe we're 100% across the board on Monday's test. So those are working well. We do have the Storm Spotters class at Washburn Tech this year on April 3rd at 7 p.m. So if anybody's interested in coming to that. And the reason I mention that is that specifically helps us when we're on social media, when we do have storms roll in, get ground truth. So people put pictures up and we know where to go, and then we can help the National Weather Service as well after the storm, so they can go on site and we know locations and so forth. So
I know we've talked about it in the past, but this might be a good time to remind people, if there's a storm in Shawnee County, do we activate all of the sirens at once? Or
thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that.
There you go.
In the past, the National Weather Service would issue a tornado warning for all of Shawnee County. We would sound all the sirens. Technology has increased, and we are concerned with overwarning because you'll see it on YouTube. I know Brian mentioned craziness on YouTube. You can see it on there. There's a Topeka Sirens page where sirens go off and people run outside on their porch, and that's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do with that warning system. So with technology going forward, when the National Weather Service puts out a warning, they can draw a polygon, and you've seen this on the TV. I'm sure it's in a fan or it's a weird box, a polygon, and that's the warned area. That's the area that they think a tornado is going to hit. And as we go forward with that technology, it's getting better and better. So in the past couple of years, we've been doing this, but it hasn't taken like I was hoping it would. But so we're going to do this for next couple of years. We will sound our siren, our outdoor warning system throughout the entire county first, and they're a 3-minute cycle. So when we hit that button, it runs for 3 minutes, just like on a Monday at noon. So after that first initial cycle, we will only sound those sirens in that warned area or that polygon. The reason for this is partially it's a culture shift, so we still have to kind of blend what we've been doing with the new stuff. And the other part is some people just don't pay attention at night, whether they're sleeping or working or whatever the case may be. We want to get their attention with a 3-minute, hey, wake up, there's a storm in our area, it could be moving your way, and then we just drill down to the warned area. We will continue to sound those sirens until the warning is over. Our National Weather Service says it's over. That could be, we've sounded them for an hour and a half at one point, just repeated over and over and over. So we don't give an all clear because we don't know that, depending on the area. We can't really say it's an all clear. We will just stop sounding the sirens when the National Weather Service says that warning is over or dissipated. So
sometimes people will maybe underestimate the warning of a siren. If I hear a siren, should I just be, hey, maybe it might be time to just look outside, maybe it's time to, maybe move to the basement, or should I be already there?
And if you hear the warning, you should just move. That's the sound that we want you to do. Just like any other kind of warning you get, it's an action sound. So if you get a warning on your car, it's time to do something. If you get a warning on your phone, it's time to do something. Your battery is low, you got to plug it in. A warning is an action word. We want you to take action. So move and then look something up if you have to. A watch is simply that, it's just kind of a watch, see what's going on. But if you hear a warning, that's an action word. Move, do something. We want you to take cover, then check your phone or whatever else that you need to after that.
Finally, last question for you.
Sure.
If I'm at my home and I'm getting ready to move to the basement, is that the time to start gathering up things I might need, or should I already have a bag packed?
You should already have a bag packed. We can only encourage people to do that. Obviously, if you don't have a basement, some people don't have basements. I will mention we do not have public shelters in Shawnee County. So during the course of your day, you might think about where you would take cover. And do you have the stuff you need there? So if you're at home, obviously we want you to have a go kit, what we call a go kit. in your basement. And in that kit, you're just going to have survival things. But we want you to think about that situation should it happen and practice it. So maybe having shoes. A lot of people don't think that through. You come out of your basement and your house was hit, you don't want to be barefoot. So think about those kinds of things and just have those kits in your basement. And if you need help, www.ready.gov, or give us a call or an email. We'll help you out.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. I was going to say, we have a lot of programs going on all summer with kids and parks and things. Do we have a good plan for each facility, what to do in case there's a...
We have been working with many different organizations over the years. We just were at the Discovery Center a couple of weeks ago, chatting with them. They have their tornado shelters marked. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the statewide tornado drill, and we sent out emails and encouraged all organizations, especially schools and such, to practice that plan. Because sometimes you think, oh, we got this shelter down here, and then you're going to move those customers or people you have, and suddenly you realize you don't have enough room. So taking that time now to practice those things and move those people just to see if it'll work is a good time to do it. Exercise those plans. But and answer directly to your question, I can't guarantee across the board all through Shawnee County that every organization is ready to go. I can tell you the ones that we have worked with, we have given the best guidance we possibly can, and we've seen that they've taken that advice, and I think they're okay, ready to go. I will say, if you are listening to this, consider having a weather officer assigned. What we mean by that is, as the storm's coming in, somebody specifically designated in your office to watch the weather, because we will only sound those warnings when it's happening for sure. So if you're waiting until that siren goes off, you're probably too late. So try to move before that, and having a weather officer assigned to see if the storm's coming your way is smart. And that's what we've suggested to schools to do as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Dusty.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dusty. Next item.
E, Information Technology, number 1. Consider authorization and execution of Contract C-11-111-2023, a renewal agreement with the Center for Internet Security to provide network security monitoring and reporting services for the Shawnee County Internet connections at an annual cost of $13,800 with funding from the Information Technology 2023 budget.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is a renewal of one of our security monitoring services, and I'd ask for approval and answer any questions you might have.
I'll move for approval.
Second. Go ahead.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Mark. Next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of Contract C-112-2023, reference contract C-13-2022 with Eagle Technologies for annual maintenance of the software and hardware used to provide data backup services for most of the county's application and file service at a total cost of $12,986.64 with funding from the 2023 departmental budget.
Morning, Commissioners. This is the annual renewal of our backup software we use in the county. We've been very lucky and haven't had to utilize it too much, but it's there when we need it. And it's been functioning as expected, and I can answer any other questions. And
Questions? I'll move for approval. Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-113-2023 with SHI International on state contract for the purchase of 600 annual licenses for McAfee virus protection software at a total cost of $15,600 with funding from the 2023 departmental budget.
Morning, Commissioners. My final item today. This is just the annual renewal of our McAfee software. It is on a majority of the computers. We're actually phasing it out, so we've reduced our number this year. would hope by next year we'll actually be able to not renew it and go to the newer software we have. Any other questions, I can answer it.
Questions?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next item.
Item F, Parks Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-114-2023 with Playscape Recreation for the purchase, delivery, and installation of playground equipment and servicing in various parks provided by Playscape Recreation for the amount of $252,253.16. The purchase is through the Green Bush Purchasing Cooperative, and funding is provided by the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, ARPA project number 2021-40, PR7.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jess Rakestraw, Parks and Recreation. In November 2021, you approved the use of ARPA funding to improve some of our parks and playgrounds. A lot has happened between now and then, but we're here today with the initial 4 parks that we plan to do on that project. So, as she mentioned, we're planning on using the Green Bush Purchasing Cooperative to ensure we're getting the most competitive pricing. The project includes the removal of most of the existing equipment in these 4 parks, just due to not meeting current compliance regulations. I do have some pictures here from Playscapes that shows the equipment we have planned for these parks. The color is not solidified. I've been pushing for purple and white, getting a little bit of pushback from the director there. But well, let me start.
Can I get the names of those people pushing back?
There's just one main guy, but
So noted.
Washburn Park is the first one we've got planned. These are the new pieces we've got planned for the park. We will put curbing around all of these. We will have engineered wood fiber for the surfacing. We do have a large playground structure in that park that will stay, that's in good shape. And we're also replacing one of the basketball goals inside the park. So, Medford Park is the next one. We will be removing all the equipment from that park, installing this equipment. There will be curbing placed around all the new equipment. We are actually going to use turf for the surfacing in this park. It's kind of a pilot for us. Turf is becoming more of a popular playground surfacing. We don't have that in any of our playgrounds currently, so hoping to use that for maybe some future plans at Gage Park as well. So using Medford to kind of see what the maintenance looks like on that and kind of how it wears for us. Ward Park, go ahead, I'm sorry.
On the turf, I mean, given that Medford's a pretty open area, are you concerned about how hot that turf is going to get in the summer? I mean, the chips don't seem to have that same absorbance. I mean, they don't reflect the heat like you might find on a turf. I mean, a turf can absorb and reflect and really get pretty hot.
Turf can be hot for sure. We know that from, Bettis Sports Park as well. I think the fact that it's in such a large open green space does help, though. I mean, having the other areas around it. There are trees in that park, not as many as some of our other parks, but I don't think it's as big of a concern as we are when we're concerned with heat exhaustion and things like that in our ballparks.
I just worry about small children, and you get a turf that gets pretty warm. You don't want your child to get scalded or, burned.
Absolutely, I would agree. So, I can't answer that question specifically, but I do know it is becoming a more popular trend. I don't think they would be doing it if there were those concerns, but we definitely will take that into consideration as we make those decisions.
I think we also have flashbacks of the great big metal slides of these.
So we all enjoyed those. They're still around. They're actually putting those back in parks now. So, yeah, I understand.
Doesn't pour in place get pretty hot too, though? I mean, I
Yeah.
can't imagine it'd be too much different.
It's got a little bit more denseness to it, I think, as far as the multiple layers, but I think it's probably got a similar idea because it does have that rubber in it, which is what the base of the turf is as well. So
Well, it's a
you're
pilot
right.
program. So
Exactly, and
let's keep an eye on it.
Well, that's the goal.
It helps having a color added to the crumb rubber.
Oh.
If it's just the basic black,
For
it
sure.
gets pretty hot.
Yeah.
But if you make it yellow greens or whatever, it does reduce the heat. I had a question about accessibility. Will these new playground areas be accessible to to the street or to the sidewalks?
So they're all going in, yes, they're all going in similar spots, with the exception of, actually, the next one I plan on talking about is Ward Parkway Park. But yes, they all should have ADA accessible features in them. And the surfacing actually helps with that as well, so.
Do all these parks have the new signs that,
Yes,
Okay.
they do. I think
All
I
right.
can confidently say that.
very good?
So, next up, we had Ward Parkway Park. All the equipment in that park will be removed and replaced with this equipment. We're actually moving the location of the equipment in Ward Parkway, moving it over kind of centrally into the park in a bigger area, so it'll be visible throughout the whole park. It will have curbing around the whole thing and also pour-in-place surfacing. And then Sims Park is our fourth park. There are some swings there and a merry-go-round that will stay, but we will be adding these pieces of equipment. Again, curbing around all of it and then pour in place for the surfacing. So we are very excited to get started on this. We're hoping to get installation started in the fall and by the very latest have it wrapped up by spring. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any other questions?
I don't have any additional questions.
I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Next item.
Item G, Planning Department, number 1, public hearing and consider approval of resolution number 2023 to amend the district zoning classification for RR-1 Residential Reserve District to I-1 Light Industrial District on property located at 5635 Southwest Burlingame Road in Topeka Township.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joni Fedani, Director of the Planning Department. As is mentioned, we have a public hearing today for a rezoning from RR to I-1. The purpose of this is that the applicant intends to build a commercial-style building. They are going to use it for construction equipment and storage. It'll be located on the north end of the property that you'll see here shortly. It is located off the corner of 57th and Burlingame. Exact address is 5635 Southwest Burlingame. As you can see here, the parcel that we're talking about is surrounded in green. You'll see the corner of 57th and Burlingame right there to the right. On the north end side of this is I-335, the Turnpike. This parcel was divided off of a larger parcel below. It went through a platting process with the city of Topeka to divide this property up. The full property is owned by the same owners, but they were wanting to use this property for this construction purpose, and the remainder of the property continues to stay zoned RR. And in order to rezone this, we had to have them separated off. There is floodplain that runs through the property, actually a significant portion of it. The building itself is going to go up in the upper tip of that triangle. There will be a driveway that goes through the floodplain area or a little roadway, but they'll get floodplain development permits for that. You can see here, one of the concerns that we have when we're rezoning a property is whether or not it's deemed spot zoning. And I specifically wanted to include this slide to show that while this is RR and it is surrounded by a lot of RR around it, if you look immediately across Burlingame to the right or to the east, everything on that side is zoned I-1 already. And then also a little bit further to the east, there's C4 commercial. So this is not going to be what I would consider spot zoning. It is involved with a lot of other industrial area right there. And then not only that, like I mentioned, the Turnpike is on the north end of the property. The parcels that are located on the south that are owned by the same owner currently are used agriculturally as well. This was the notification area of the property. I believe we had 23 letters that we sent out. We did not receive contact from anybody before this public hearing at the Planning Commission. This was the final plat that was done by the city of Topeka. As I mentioned, 23 letters were sent out. We didn't receive public comment before the Planning Commission. At that hearing on February 13, nobody appeared in opposition to or in favor of the presentation other than the applicant. The Planning Commissioners considered it and voted to approve the proposal as it was proposed, 5-0. 2 of the members were absent. Concerns by staff, really we have none at this stage. There are a few that are addressed with the conditions, but they're minor. A majority of the concerns that came up when this was occurring were taken care of during the plating process. In those situations, it's nice that we work with the city of Topeka directly. They contact us, ask us for input, and other departments. Each of us have the opportunity to give input on what our concerns may be, and a lot of times those are able to be taken care of as a part of that plat. So the remaining concerns that we need to address are a drainage detention report, and that has to do with it being located in Shunga. Oh, I don't even remember what the Shunga. Let me get to my recommendations. Is it the Shunga?
Is it drainage district?
Drainage district, that they believe so. So they're requiring that there's a drainage report done so that they can review it and make sure and check off whatever it is that needs to be checked off to maintain those issues. We also had a request from Public Works in regards to a protected turn lane. If any of you are familiar with the northbound Southwest Burlingame Road, at this corner, it curves a little bit as it goes around, and then there's the turn onto 57th, but there's medians in place. And so the concern is if there's construction equipment or construction trucks that would be going from the northbound and then turning left across that the sight lines may not be enough to allow for traffic. And so what we've asked them to do is either put in a protected turn lane, or in the alternative, do a study that determines whether or not the traffic impact is going to have an effect. And if they are able to determine that that's not the case, then they can submit that report to us and we would not require the protected turn lane. But they have to do one or the other. And then the last thing would be that they need to make sure and obtain proper permits from both the state and the county as necessary for any floodplain matters to deal with that floodplain that drives through. So my findings were that this would not be considered spot zoning, as there are other similarly zoned properties nearby. Once it is rezoned, it would be an appropriate use of the property. Its location for a construction building is suitable due to other industrial and commercial sites nearby. And I found that this would be consistent with the Shawnee County Comprehensive Plan. So the recommendation of both staff and from the Planning Commission would be approval of the request subject to the three conditions that are listed, which are also set forth in the resolution. And I have nothing further unless you have questions prior to opening up the public hearing.
Commissioner Mays?
Johnny, it doesn't look like there's likely any utilities there currently. Is this going to be on city water?
My understanding is that it will be, yes, whatever I may ask the applicant actually to address that if they are aware of what utilities. I do know that full utilities are accessible to the property, and I'm not sure whether or not it falls within city water or one of the rural water districts at this location.
Or septic or sewer or?
Septic.
Okay. And city water. Okay.
Any questions?
I move to open the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. We're now open for public hearing. I'll let anybody who opposed to this project speak now. Anybody for the project? Or would the developers like to say a few words at this point?
Good morning, Joshua Belinsky with SBB Engineering, just representing Mr. Bermudez in this and to take any questions that anybody has from the audience or the commissioners.
Yes.
Given the floodplain and the restrictions that we have on a floodplain, really outside of establishing this industrial use, that parcel is very limited in its use. Would that be correct?
That is correct. It'll be a small building, a 60 by 100, and a small parking lot. As you can see, it'll be located in this small area here. Most of this area is restricted by the floodplain, so if anybody's thinking that it would be a large expansion sometime in the future, it just is not possible.
Okay, and then the drive goes through the floodplain, but that's not restricted by any of the floodplain regulations by having a drive there?
We'll have to permit that through KDA, Division of Water Resources. We've had some preliminary contact with them, so there's a significant amount of hydraulic analysis and things like that that we'll have to go through, but we are aware of that and we'll go through.
And as the planning director laid out, while the area to the, on the other side of the turnpike is really residential, everything located in close proximity to this proposed site is industrial.
That's correct.
Okay. So that would be then consistent with the other buildings that we would see in that area?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope. I'll move that we close the hearing and approve the resolution.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Joan. Next item.
Item H, Commission. Number 1, acknowledge the resignation of the Silver Lake Township Clerk, Tom Noble.
All right. Apparently, we have a resignation from the Silver Lake Township Clerk, and I'd like to thank Tom Noble for his time and service to that in that position. So I will move that we acknowledge that.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 5, public comment.
I don't have anyone signed up. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak? Seeing none. Next item.
Number 6, administrative communications.
All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, OVG 360 and Stormont Vale Event Center. Almost forgot our company's name. Just wanted to take a couple quick minutes this morning, talk about Topeka Tropics football. We opened up their season on March 13th, which was a Monday night game during spring break. Things went excitingly well. We walked up about 900 people for the game that day, so I just wanted to encourage everybody listening and everybody in the room that you can always get your tickets in advance. Wednesday through Friday at the box office, it's open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on game days, the box office opens at 2 p.m. So we only have about 8 windows in our box office, so it gets pretty busy around game time. So make sure you get your tickets in advance so you can skip that line and breeze right through security and get inside to watch a football game. But exciting attendance. We had almost 1,700 people in the building for the game on March 13th, so looking forward to that again on Saturday.
I hear there's tailgating in the parking lot that's going on too.
There is, yep. We are an open tailgate facility. It is a bring your own tailgate supplies facility. So much like most of the other football stadiums and buildings in our market. But yes, you can tailgate in advance of the games in the parking lot. It creates a great atmosphere. There's a lot of fans who do that and enjoy that. And then I believe there's going to be a team-sanctioned or team-sponsored tailgate in the parking lots for some of the games moving forward as well.
How's that walking taco working out?
Walking taco is great. My favorite is the barbecue nachos, but everybody has their preference. But the walking taco at the little taqueria stand is a great option. We've also launched what's called a Topeka Tropics dog. It's kind of a tropical-inspired hot dog with pineapple pico de gallo and some spicy sauce on there and jalapenos, and that's served out of the Topeka Sausage Company stand. And then lots of barbecue offerings and, all of your good family normal concession fare as well.
I understand we still have a concert that's coming up.
We do. Foreigners coming up May 2nd, so we're getting close to that. Next week, we actually have another event that we're going to announce publicly. It's already been announced by their sanctioning league, but the American Cornhole League Pro Shootout will be late April in Exhibition Hall. That'll be broadcast on ESPN. So really excited about that event coming into play. That'll be the second event we've hosted this year that'll be broadcast live from our facility on national television. So we had Showtime Boxing back in mid-February and rolling out with the American Cornhole League Pro Shootout. They're very excited about that one, so are we.
They accepting local entries?
There is an open category to the shootout. How that works, I have no idea. I have had a couple questions posed to me about the open competition, but to my understanding, yes, there is open registration for amateurs for that competition. You will not be put on ESPN, but you do have the opportunity to throw some bags and compete and maybe earn your way into the American Cornhole League.
I won't be entering myself, but I know some people that are pretty good at throwing cornholes.
I heard Commissioner Rippon's a ringer.
There you go.
The rumors that are flying around, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
I did get a chance to go to the first Tropic game, and looks like we have a good team this year.
Yeah.
And they destroyed, was it Arlington? And,
Yep, they played
so-
Arlington, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
always good to follow a winning team, and I think they're gonna be right in there this year.
Yeah, I think the most exciting piece is it's a really energetic crowd during those games. I know a lot of folks in the room are big fans, season ticket holders, spend a lot of time there at the games. So it's an exciting energy. It's a lot of fun to have them in the building, and they do a lot of great community work and community support, owned by three local businessmen that own the team in the community that do a lot for the community. So exciting to have them and looking forward to the rest of their season.
Sorry, you're on the spot. I guess we're going to ask a bunch of questions
Yeah.
today. But so did you have, for the Tropics game, I wasn't there, I was out of town, but did you put the upper deck curtains in?
Yep,
for
the
that?
upper deck curtains were in during the game, so our capacity during those games is about 3,300 to 3,400.
Okay, so it feels
Yeah.
more full than.
It does.
Yeah, okay, and then the other thing is, news story came out yesterday about the possibility of a hockey team coming to town. Did you want to address that at all?
Sure. Yes, we are in communication with a private group that's looking to bring a hockey team to Topeka. The league that they would play in is called the Federal Prospect Hockey League, which is essentially a single A. If you're thinking minor league baseball terms, that's the best way to describe it. A single A minor league professional hockey team, so it is adult hockey. We've been in contact both with the organization that's looking to bring the team, as well as direct communication with their league commissioner in the league, and those conversations are ongoing, and hopefully there's some potential that might actually be able to come to fruition. Still a lot of work to go. No contracts have been offered on either side. I think they're still working through some sanctioning body elements with getting a franchise from the league, but the discussions are happening.
Okay, great, thank you.
And how are your ticket sales going for Foreigner?
Foreigner's doing very well. I can't think off the top of my head exactly where we're at, but we're pretty excited about the turnout for that. It's selling very well. Again, that's a lower bowl show, so the balcony curtains will be up on that show, so it is a reduced capacity, but it's selling like hotcakes. So if you're looking for tickets to Foreigner, I would recommend getting those sooner rather than later.
Selling like hotcakes. Like to hear that. It's not cold as ice.
It's not cold as ice. Yeah.
But if you want tickets, it needs to be pretty urgent.
Yeah. It's good. Yep.
Very good.
There's a few more in there if you want to see.
Yeah, this feels like the first time I have been doing this. Anyway, thank you, Kellen.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I do want to remind everyone that the facility, like every other facility, or most facilities out there, has a clear bag policy. I know the last event I went to, I saw several people hustling back to their vehicles to change out their purses or bags. It is a clear bag facility, so know that going in. It'll make your trip a lot easier if you know that.
That's a good point.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of the departments who participated in the Career Expo. It took a great deal of planning, not only for the facility, but for communications for that, so we'd like to thank you. We did receive 200 applications after the job fair. On day one of the expo, we received 102 applications, and then 98 applications in the days that followed, leading to today. On average, we receive about 50 applications a week, so I would call it a good event. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
It's a good
Sounds
event.
like your people probably working hard to go through all those, if I had to guess, so.
Morning, Commissioners. Josh Mikey, Parks and Recreation. Just wanted to mention Tulip Festival, Tulip Time, looking for volunteers. We'd like to get Ted Ensley Gardens cleaned up here, especially with his memorial coming up on April 14th. The week of March 27th and 30th through 30th is what we're looking for, either half-day or full-day volunteers. You can volunteer by either emailing Riley Schaefer at riley.schaefer, spelled SHAFER, at snco.us, or by phone at 785-251-6812. We're looking for any kind of help there. Also wanted to mention last week, first off, thank you to you guys for the grand opening of the mini train, for showing up and participating in that, even though it was a little bit cold as ice, I guess. But last week we had a good week of participation on the train, other than other days. We're about the same as opening day. We had just over 3,000 for the week. It was open for pretty much 3 days. The best day was Wednesday. We had over 1,900 riders, and I think some of you might have seen a picture of the park that day. It was packed. A lot of people, a lot of excitement, and the train held up, did a great job. The engineers enjoy driving it a lot more than the old one, so it is doing what we've wanted to do. So, yes.
Question on the mini train, and I know the answer to this, but I just want to hear it out loud. The cold weather closures, there were people on social media that were saying it was because of the battery in the train. Could you please address that?
No, it is not. Actually, with the cold weather, the train could operate in colder weather than the old train could. This was more of safety of the crew, safety of the patrons themselves from the frostbite, as you guys witnessed on the opening day, how nice and chilly that ride is. We do take into account the safety of our staff in that as well. So it was not train related, no.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Josh.
Threw in that foreigner reference. Is that regular jukebox here?
You guys are too nice. Go together.
You keep me out of trouble. Jim Crow, Shawnee County Councilor. I wanted to announce the addition of Kyle Edelman as an Assistant County Councilor to my office. I'm not going to steal his thunder on his prior experience, but he does have good prior experience. I'm going to invite Kyle to come up. He takes Joni Thadani's place in my office. He cannot replace her. She did a great job, as you can see from her work as planning director. But anyway, Kyle, you want to introduce yourself and to everyone in the county, including the Board of County Commissioners. Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. Kyle Edelman. I guess a little bit of background on me. I went to Washburn for undergrad, University of Nebraska at Lincoln for law school. Straight out of law school, worked for the DA's office, primarily in family law unit, sync law mostly, for about 4.5 years. Did a little bit of appellate work as well, but that was my primary role. And then I went to the state for the last 3.5, both at the AG's office and then the Department for Aging and Disability Services. Excited to be back in the county, excited for the new role, excited to work with everybody. I guess questions if you have any, but that's a little bit about me.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Glad to have you.
Kyle, great to have you back at Shawnee County.
Yes, I'm very excited to be back.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just reminded Jim that we would probably keep the new hire busy at the jail. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. We talked a little bit about staffing, but I do want to mention two things. One of them is after 40-plus years of service, Marilyn Coleman has decided to retire. Marilyn has been in department. She's been at the old jail, what we would say, and the jail. Marilyn has been in the same position in classification and first appearances for many, many years, and in fact, Marilyn was one of my training officers. Marilyn would kill me if she knew I was up here today, because Marilyn does not like any type of notice. In fact, she would even get sick if I gave her evaluation. They were always very good. She just is a very quiet person and stuff like this, but it would break my heart to not recognize Marilyn in some way, to be able to say, thank you, Marilyn, and if you are watching, you're probably going to kick my tail. And the other one is Ricardo Bonner, after 25 years, is retiring as well. Ricardo has been mostly for his career at the Juvenile Detention Center, and Ricardo and I go a long way back through Washburn University, things like that, but Ricardo spent all of his career that I know of at the Juvenile Detention Center. Those juvenile offenders, believe it or not, are going to miss his leadership, his mentorship. He cared about those kids. Marilyn cared about the adults too. But working at the Juvenile Detention Center, it takes special people to work in corrections, and Ricardo and Marilyn are two examples of doing a job that a lot of others wouldn't do. And I'm going to miss Marilyn dearly. As I said, she was my training officer. And Ricardo, I'm going to miss them. And, you know, part of being a director is, you know, I can hire anybody, but I can't replace that, and especially 40 years of experience and stuff like this. But Marilyn and them both said and Ricardo, they don't want anything. They don't want any recognition. I told them I'm the boss. I outranked them today. But you know, as they move on into their careers and things like that, and move on to other things and stuff like that, you know, always keep them in your prayers, and everybody in Shawnee County that retires, keep prayers and stuff like this. But I just wanted people to know that we're losing two good people at, you know, their well-deserved retirement.
Brian, please pass on to Marilyn and Ricardo that I think I can speak for all the commissioners here that we appreciate their years of service and commitment to Shawnee County. So, and I want to mention, could you turn around so everybody can see your tie and shirt?
I lost a bet.
Very good. All right. Anyone else? All right. Next item.
Item 7, executive session.
I don't think we have a need for executive session today, so we're adjourned.